Hey, what's up everybody? Agamot's here today. Today I'm going to be talking about how to get better at PVE. I think a lot of people have been looking at my videos and they've been going, dude, I've been trying, I can't manage to kill the Sharko, or how do you manage to kill the Owl? I just get comboed up. So I'm going to be basically breaking down what I did to get myself better at PvE when I first started playing the game and taking it seriously back in like July when I moved to the United States. When I had started playing the game seriously again, Deepwoken just opened up after, being closed for a couple months. It was a lot of big changes and it was the last big revamp. And so after that, I started to take it seriously. And so one of the main things I really want to do was to fight the Sharko. Essentially speaking, to get better at PvE, I kid you not, it just comes down to knowledge and applying that knowledge through muscle memory and like reacting, essentially speaking. So basically what I mean by this is, as a power 1, I kid you not, just go to the depths and try and fight a Sharko and do it until you win, or at least until you get close. The main point is you want to basically learn the PvE through a freshie without having to risk anything. That way you can learn the monsters and you are less afraid. I think a lot of people, when they fight the monsters, they're very anxious and they're very afraid of wiping their character, for example, in the depths, which is why they don't want to go towards the depths. However, that is mostly just the fear of the unknown. And to be honest, even afterwards, it's still the fear of the unknown because you don't know how to fight the Sharko. You don't know anything. So if you take the time to actually learn how the Sharko fights and how all NPCs work, it will essentially become pretty easy to learn how most enemies work. But I'm going to break it down for you anyway. Essentially speaking, almost every enemy in the game does this. It basically has an attack that, you have to dodge or parry, and then it'll give you like a little short time frame for you to get an M1 or M2 in, and then it'll immediately go back to attacking you, and it'll be basically like a Pokemon battle between you guys. That's basically how it works. I see a lot of people just going up trying to keep M1ing an enemy, which you can do. The only enemy I can see that actually working for is the King Jellyfish. He's really just a stat check. But for all enemies, it's going to be they attack, you get 1 or 2 hits, or maybe 3 hits in, depending on your weapon, and then you immediately go back to playing defense. And it's going to basically repeat and rotate. If you notice, in almost every video I've done on NPCs, it's always been like that. They attack, I parry or block, or I dodge, and then I get my 2 or 3 hits in, and then I immediately get ready for my defense. That is how all NPCs work in this game, and that is something you have to realize. If you don't realize this and you think it's just always just attacking at random, no, that is not the case. They will always give you a small frame to attack. Even the King Jellyfish, where you can't even react to its moves most of the time, you can at least do something about like the jellyfish it shoots out, for example, like block it if you have a shield, and then you have a short little time period to attack. There's no enemy that just constantly straight attacks you and like you can't do anything about it. For example, with the Sharko, it will either do 2 swings and then it will pause for like a couple seconds to give you an attack, and then it'll do a kick, you dodge that, and then it'll give you a couple seconds to attack, and then it'll do a swing and then a kick. Of course, these are like randomized, so you have to learn how to fight the enemy, which is why I suggested you to go and fight these enemies at power 1 in the depths so you can learn their attacks. However, once you learn these attacks and know what to do, it just becomes applying this knowledge to actually find the enemies and not being very anxious, because again, being super anxious will make you make mistakes. You want to reduce the amount of mistakes you can, especially in the depths, so you don't get wiped. Last but not least, I think a really good way to basically apply the knowledge you have is get a really high powered character and then fight some of the NPCs. Like get like a power 45 or 50 even if you have to, and then fight a regular Sharko. If you really can't fight a Sharko at like a power 20 or 30, just get a higher power character where you don't really have the fear of wiping, because you could just basically tank all the hits and kill it with your M1s without having to dodge or parry, and then learn it that way. Whatever you can do, just learn and try and get the memory down of how it works, of how it fights, how much time you have, how many M1s you can get. I memorize all the M1s I can get with each different monster I fight, and that's why I'm never afraid of the depths, because I know exactly what to do for every mob. And again, most of it again is just fear of the unknown. You just don't know what to do. But once you do learn how to fight the NPCs, I kid you not, it is probably one of the easiest things to do in this game to level up. The depths will be your friend in terms of leveling. That'll be all for this video. I'm not going to drag it on any longer. Go ahead and start practicing. I know you guys can do it. Thank you guys, and have a Merry Christmas.